Oh, well, hey there, folks. It's Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Welcome to hot and muggy southeast Louisiana and my little bee yard. Alright guys, it is July 2nd, and before I go any further, you'll see this after July 4th on Monday, so I hope everybody had a safe and wonderful Independence Day. Alright, so it's time to extract honey. I said in the last video I was going to take you through and we were going to peek at a bunch of them. You can see how muggy it is. My goodness, it is awful. So anyway, I didn't get a chance to go through. We had rain. We got a little envelope, a little sliver of dry weather here for the next few hours, so I've got to get busy. Not going to be a lot of sunshine, mixed clouds. I don't know how the fume boards will work. Just going to pour the repellent to them, push the bees out, blow out what doesn't get out, and get them on the trailer and get them in the honey house to start drying. Not gonna, but probably going to have to extract on July 4th. I've got to let those dry. I've got the dehumidifier inside there working overtime along with the air conditioning unit set on dry. It is, gosh, it's miserable. It's like 80 and it's just so humid, and it's 7 a.m. When the sun comes off, it does burn off some of that humidity, but it's supposed to be cloudy. It's coming out and it's poking out here and there. It's going to be awful. This is awful. I hate this humidity. Anyhow, but we're going to try and get this done as quickly as possible. So, for those of you that have joined and have not been back in some of the previous videos, I'm going to use my hive lifter. The guy that designed it up in Canada, Boris, he designed it with bee escapes in mind. That's what he told me. And what you do, you know, because bee escapes, I don't use them. So, no bee escapes. Going to be just basically bringing the fume boards out, putting the fume boards on top. I can only fume 1 to 2 mediums at a time. I have to lift them with a hive lifter, blow them out, put them on the trailer. That's how we're going to do it today, guys, and that's how I do it. Not a how-to video, how I do. This ain't the right way, this ain't the wrong way. This is the Mike way. And a lot of other people use this way too. They do it differently. We all have our little tricks of the trade that we figure out, but I just did this one last year with a hive lifter and it worked out pretty good. And what I do is if I'm lifting by hand and have help, we set the box on the side and blow the remaining bees out. If I'm with the hive lifter, I kind of lift it up and blow them down. And it seems to work. So that's what we're going to do. Got to gather up my trailer, and we're going to get busy because cloud cover and rainstorms are coming. Got to get as many as I can off. This has been it's going to be a painful weekend. I'm going to end up working into the holiday, but it is what it is. All right, guys, let me get busy. Alright guys, we're loaded up. Got fume boards, lids to put on top of the colony. I got these ramps. Hopefully they'll work out. I've been using them in my shed. Hopefully they'll work out to roll those supers up. Hive lifter, of course, for those of you who hadn't seen it, you get to see it now. I need to air up the tires on it real quick. And that's it. What we're going to do is fume them and then look through the colony, since I didn't get a chance to look through and see who is all full. Anybody that's not quite full, if they've got enough bees, I'll leave the super on. But they got to come off soon because it's almost time to start working on mite control. Alright, so the bees are starting to come out. There's a couple of these that swarmed. I don't think any of these did. Those are lighter on bees, but that one was always a build-up one, and that one may have swarmed early on, but I think it's already requeened. This one here is an issue. It had swarmed 12. Of course, we know about that one. I'm seeing pollen coming in. It's about time to set some pollen traps. So all these supers, some of them are going to have honey in them. Some of them aren't. Some of them were just to keep the bees in place. We weren't going to... Man, they're bringing in a lot of pollen. Good gracious. So I might need to set this pollen trap. But anyway, it's going to be ugly because it's cloudy. It's been rainy. It's not going to be a fun day. Look at the bees. Here we go. Let's do some fuming. Let's get some bees moving. Let's get some honeys off before we start getting rain. Nothing new here, folks. Same as everybody does. Only difference is I might load these up. I got a few bottles of this. I'm still missing one fume board. I loaned it to somebody. I don't know who, and I haven't returned it. I loaned it with a bottle of Honeybee Gone. Have no idea. I just loaned my stuff out, and whoever's got it, they still got it. So I'm down to 3 fumes. It'd be nice to have 4. Just because it's nice to have don't mean you're gonna. So I guess while I'm fuming, I will go look through this one. Let's look and see what we see in number 10 while these others are fuming. Might save us some time. I can usually fume 2 at a time on a good day. This isn't a good day. Whoops, sorry about that. Being it's not a good day, I can only probably fume 1 at a time. But being able to fume a few at a time and then lift them with the hive lifter, I can do 2 to 3 supers, no problem. But let's look. So I see the outside ones already aren't capped, but that's all right. 90% caps, what I'm looking for. Let's see what we got in this one. Boy, they're not happy in this weather. So I look at this. Look, that nectar in there is hazy. That's coming out, you see? So I got loose nectar in there. So that frame is not good, but 90%, I will dry it out. It's gonna sit in my shed overnight with a fan. Now here's one that's also not done. Ooh, they're not happy. Bad weather, worst weather we could have had. Nothing coming out of that. Yeah, plenty coming out of that one. Ouch, I'm getting stung already. That didn't take no time. Yeah, they're not happy at all. What a horrible day. Let's see what's in the bottom. Let's do some lifting. Oh, it's heavy though. Gosh almighty, they're upset. So what I might do, this one's done all the way out. Let's get some smoke on them, run them off. Let's see what this outsides are usually telltale. Completely done. The bottom one looks completely done. I'm gonna pull them both. I can see the outside one down there looks done, so we'll fume both of these. I'm gonna leave that box out for right now, make sure no robbing goes on. Might move the fume board over while I'm pulling another box. I'm gonna fume this one now and blow the other one out. So this one, a lot of the bees came out. Here's what I'll do. Oh, it's heavy. Man, it's heavy. So you break it loose, man, that thing's heavy. Let's pick through it. Move my hive lift into position. I think it's fine. Yeah. The outsides are that much. I know the insides are. Let's look at this outside one. It might have a few. Nah, that's 90% easy. Whole box. Looks like the bottom is good too. Here's what we're going to do. Since we didn't get them all out with the fume board, we'll run them out with a blower. I went in and manhandled the box off of that one. Having to pick through these is really costing me a lot of time, but it is what it is. So we're going to get this one next. It's a lot of honey in there. And bees are extremely excited. Not in a good way. If you lift it up, it'll balance itself. Right there. Blow it out. That's it. That's one. I got to get this super back on. I'm gonna leave this one on for now. Come get it later. These bees are not happy. It is the worst weather to be doing this in, with it being overcast and just hot and miserably humid. I'm soaked from head to toe. Had to go in and get the old Camelback. They are not happy. It's humid. Even when the sun comes out, granted it blows it right up to 90, but at least it burns this humidity off somewhat. Gosh, it is miserable. Let me get this stuff done. I have done that, like, I'm slow going. I need to finish this stack and get busy. Ooh, trailer slick. He's gone. Take a look underneath. Oh gosh, that's heavy. Yep, bee's gone. Let's get this honey out of here. Let's see what this one's got on it. This was a weak hive going into the flow. I was surprised, and they put some honey on one box, so I put a second one on, and looks like they might have finished it. Let's look. Pretty excited about this colony that it even made honey. I wasn't expecting it to. This one don't look like it's always capped though. Yeah, see? Yeah, a lot of nectar. Wow, it's still wet. And that's another thing, pulling this humidity, oh my gosh, it's like the worst time ever to pull it. That box, I can leave it. Yeah, they hadn't even finished capping this one. Let's see how well this one is. Yeah, I can fume this one out. I'm okay with this one. It's got a little bit of uncapped, but yeah, right there. Remember, 90% is my rule. This outside one here got a lot of wet nectar though. Golly. So I'm gonna call this box not really ready. I could pick and choose, but I'm not going to. I'll tell you what I'm going to do with it though, is I'm going to pull both boxes off and put them on that heavy hive. It needs space as well. They don't have to have space, but I'm going to put them on another colony. And what I'll do is let them finish it off, because it's not completely dried out, and this humidity is like the worst time to be letting this honey be out. So I left the box over there that had a lot more nectar in it. I mean, it's about 80% capped. That's not good enough when it's that wet. If it wasn't shaking out as much, I'd probably take it and let it dry. But you gotta remember, I'm not drying in a hot room. Mine is using the air conditioned dry setting and my dehumidifier, and it gets it down to about 45% humidity in there. With fans, it seemed to dry the last batch pretty good, but that's still pretty wet. So I'll take these two supers, run these bees out, and I'm gonna stick them over there. Some of these colonies were weak. This was a weak one going in. I'm surprised they filled what they did. I'm happy. So that's what I'm doing, folks. I'm going to continue doing all this. It's going to be a lot of mixing and matching and moving. It's slow going for me right now. So I don't want to bore you guys with what I'm doing. You see what I'm doing. And I'll bring you back when we figure out what all we've been able to pull and what we're going to have to leave. So I'm going to get busy with that, get this done, and that way I can get showered and cleaned up and go in and get my honey house situated with the fans and everything and get this honey drying out. At least one night's worth of drying. It really needs a few nights. Might even do it for 2 days. Just let it dry for 2 days and then extract it. That's it, guys, for now. Ooh, I got exhausted. On the verge of heat exhaustion, had to get out. The humidity just saps you. It's not even terribly hot, it's just the humidity saps you. I drank a little over a gallon of water with I can't even speak straight, 2 32-ounce waters and an entire Camelback. That's a gallon between the two, or the whatever, and I am soaked as though I've been swimming in a pool. So I'm done. I got about 17 supers. I'm going to seal off some of these holes. Also, I started wearing down so fast, I started slowing down, and robbing began, so I need to stop anyway. Maybe I left another 15 or so out there. Probably got another 10 over here. I think there's 15 or so in town, so it looks like these are going to be done in increments, or I'm going to have to get some help. I could have got help today, but I just didn't want to interrupt anybody on their weekend. It's 4th of July weekend, but I guess I should have called for today. Could at least got this yard done, but that's okay. This is enough to keep me busy. I'm going to go and cool down. I'll finish out the video. I got the windows cracked and the lights off, and I need to make a bee escape one of these days for these windows. You know, a cone. I've been talking about doing it for about 6-7 years since this thing was completed, and never have. You can't, because you can't leave this open too long. You can get them out, but then they find their way back in. There's a bucket in there full of honey. They're actually thinning out a lot. There were a lot more earlier. So I think they're figuring out they can't get it. But I'm going to blow some more out from the windows like I do. And what that'll do is then I'll shut the windows, and whoever's in here is just not going to make it. This is all my fault, but man, I got exhausted. I couldn't go anymore. I could not unload the trailer by myself. I just couldn't. So I got to get this thing closed down, get the shades down. They'll gather on the window. I'll do one final opening later this evening, and that'll take care of them. All the supers are in here. This normally never happens like this. I mean, I have some bees in my honey house, but never like this. This was all because they got the robin right next door, and then as I'm hauling the honey, and what I would do is I would just flip them, blow them off, and grab it and run in and bring the bees, you know, a few bees in with it. Got 90% of them out when I was running with it, but I'm whipped. I'm whipped. And so I'm going to blow the rest of these out, and then I am going to, somebody's calling me, then I am going to close this video out and see what we can do. Well, folks, that's a wrap. I tell you what, I got the boxes sitting up, getting dried out. I got fans on top of them and the dehumidifier going, and the AC is on dry. The thing does a good job. Only problem is it gets it cold. It's not a hot room, but anyway, it's drying. We'll leave them a couple days. This humidity is really, really bad to be in. It's a miserable humidity. The problem also is when you leave those boxes out there the way I was, they can, you know, just because it's capped doesn't mean it can't still absorb moisture. At the same token, it can also be dried out some. So, you know, it can dry it out, but all those open cells and all, any of the open cells that were left, man, that's not good for them. It is so some kind of humid. Had the door open, it was up to 80% in the building, and it's back down to 55%. We can get it down to about 45, and then just leave the fans run on it for a couple days. That's about as long as I'll go. 2 days. Don't want no small hive beetle problems. I got wore out today, guys. I got wore out. I did not hydrate properly last night. It wasn't necessarily heat exhaustion, I would say. I mean, it is, but it was more that I didn't hydrate. And I absolutely, when there is no sun out and that humidity is as high in the 90s the way it is, it's so humid it's just shy of rain. It's almost like I've been inside a pool. So it was ugly. But anyway, got it all straightened out. Got a lot of the bees out of the house. And normally I might get bees in my honey house when I haul supers, and there's always a few residual bees, but not like I had today. I've had that happen one other time. The problem was I got exhausted. I could not unload those supers. I couldn't do it. I got several stacks loaded with my hive lifter, and then I got exhausted, and it was just because of dehydration, not because I was working too terribly hard. So then I just started hauling boxes, and I was actually had two or three more fume boards on. I was like, all I gotta get is those last three, and I'm gonna quit. I'll just get the rest another day, and I couldn't even get those. I just said, you know what, I can't do it. I took them off, even a couple of the weaker hives. I said, the heck with it. I loaded the trailer, and I came back, and I could not unload the boxes. I couldn't do it. And there was 18 boxes total, with one was a deep that really didn't have much in it. I just wanted to get it off the hive. And got them in there and got the bees. You know, the problem was the bees had found cracks and crevices, even though I taped up some holes. But I had to go in. I could not unload those boxes, guys. I was that weak. I know when I get bad and I need to stop. And I went a little further than I should have this time. Normally I'll stop. I thought maybe if I could get them in there, I'd be fine. I couldn't. So I had a ton of bees out there. So it took me about an hour to really recover enough to go out there and load them in the honey house. So I was blowing bees, shaking, running in. Blowing bees, shaking, running in. I wore myself out again just about, but a lot of bees at the door. They know it's in there, but now they're almost gone. There's still some bees. A couple hundred bees, and there's some on the windows inside. I'll blow them out one more time. We'll be good to go. But yeah, at least you get a few bees in my honey house, but nothing like that. Each year it's harder. This year it was really hard. Granted, I didn't take care of myself the way I should have the night before, and had a little light breakfast and more water in this morning. Usually I drink one Gatorade after I get to sweating good, and then water the rest of the time. And I didn't follow my own rules, and it bit me, and it could have hurt me. But I'm good. I mean, I stopped in time. I knew nothing would have been worth dying out there. Trust me, I would have left the boxes out there if I'd had to. But I knew I had enough in me to get them up here. So I got about 15 more there, maybe 25 total at the whole yard, maybe. Then another, probably about 15 in town. So I'll get all those. But we found some supers out there that nectar was shaking out of them. I could have probably brought those in. There were only about 3 or 4 frames, maybe 5 frames that had nectar, a lot of nectar. I could have probably dried them, but now, especially now that I didn't finish, it's just as well. I went and moved them to a very, very strong colony, and I'll let them try and dry it out some. No hurry with those. Anything in there that I run across that might be not all the way uncapped that I'm not satisfied, I'll set it to the side in the box, and then when I put the wet supers out, they'll clean those out along with the wet supers. So it all works out in the wash. And I'll keep as much wet honey out and nectar out as I can. But again, I'm drying it right now. I got fans loaded on top and blowing air through them, and I've got the humidity down. It should be in the 40s in the next hour. It's a rough day for me. Hopefully it's a good one for you. Alright guys, well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Go on in and cool off. I hope you guys had a wonderful Independence Day, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day today. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. May the Lord God bless you, and we'll see y'all later.